My mom's sister stole from me, trashed my room, and screamed at me in my own home, so I kicked them out and now my grandma says I'm the problem. Posted by a deleted user in 2020. I'm so unbelievably pissed. In my culture, the older women in my family are considered on the same level as my mother. My mother is freaking epic and I adore her, but her sisters can GTFO. So, my aunts are visiting from overseas and staying with my mom, but they're getting ready for a wedding at my home because I have more space for everyone. My aunts and their daughters have a bad habit of going through the host things and borrowing items that magically find their way overseas to their homes. I think you know where I'm going with this. I'm well aware of the type of people they are, so I prepared ahead of time. Locked up my soon-to-be-born babies' things that I didn't want them using or borrowing. A couple of the cousins have babies. Locked away everything of value and sentiment. My bathroom in my room is off-limits. It has always been off-limits every single visit they've had here. And I always reiterate which bathrooms and rooms are available to them. I don't pamper myself much, but when I do, I like to get the fancy, nice-smelling, expensive, costs an arm and a leg makeup and skincare stuff, starts with an L, ends with an expensive French sound. These are locked in my bathroom, which is locked in my bedroom, that is off-limits. They visited early this morning and stayed the whole freaking day. They couldn't be bothered to cook anything for their kids, so guess who felt bad and went out multiple times to get food for them, their kids, and their husbands because, again, they couldn't be bothered. I come back this last round and I'm putting the food out, and out walks the 4-year-old and 14-year-old with my expensive face mask on their faces. I asked them what they're wearing and where they got it from, and they said from my room, and it was the mask their mom, my aunt, put on them. I went nuclear. These jackasses waited until I was gone, went through my house to find the spare key to my room, then effing went into my room, toothpicked the lock to my bathroom, used my skincare, and messed around with my makeup. And not only that, they went through my closet, pulled out all my jewelry and clothes, and were having a field day with it. I told them to put my stuff on the bed, every single thing, and to get out of my house. My aunt had the audacity to scream at me in my home, tell me I'm a horrible person and should die, say awful things about my kid and house, and scream and cry that I ruined their trip and am possessed. I kicked them out after I made sure all my stuff was accounted for and threatened them with police action if anything comes up missing. They went back to my mom's house and told her I went berserk for no reason, that I'm a horrible person, and lied about the whole situation. My mom came over and talked to me, and I told her the truth. She was appalled but not surprised that they did that, especially the stuff her sister said. But here's the part where I'm getting more pissed. They want my mom to take them to the mall and the stall where I bought my makeup and buy them everything they want, pretty much to make up for my bad behavior and disrespect, and that's the only way my mom can fix the trip. Beach, what? My mom's cultural guilt has her wanting to do that to smooth things over. But she knows there's no way she can afford to do that, and she doesn't want to reward their bad behavior since they started this crap. My grandma, my mom's mom, is telling her she has to do something to make things right, or she'll never speak to us again. How the hell do we go forward? I don't personally give a crap if grandma never says a word to me, it's not like she ever says anything positive, and my aunt and her horde of kids can all jump into the ocean. But my mom is very upset and can't stand her family, especially the old harpy, being mad at her. The guilt is eating at her. What can I say or do to help my mom realize they aren't worth the crappy stress and disrespect they show every time they're here? /relevant comments. Commenter. If their culture is deception, stealing, blatant disrespect, and abuse, then you're better off without them. Wherever your family is from, you can choose to live the beautiful, fun, and loving parts of your culture without participating in the other stuff. Your mom may not come around anytime soon, but it would help if she had strong ties outside of the family to fall back on. Ops response. Trust me, I know we're so much better off without these parasites. I've been harping on this to my mom for over a decade. The cultural and family brainwashing runs deep in her. What kind of strong ties? Commenter 2. Possibly friends or church family she can emotionally relate to in a healthier way. Why would she try to appease selfish and greedy users, even if they happen to be relatives? I hope your awesome mom can begin to see it this way. Ops response. My mom hasn't been to church in years, and when she does start to make friends, my grandma has a way of putting her down and isolating her. I'm starting to see how abusive my grandma really is. It's like she's made my mom the scapegoat, she depends on her for everything, medical, shopping, taking her to see family, etc., but then she'll turn around and shower my aunts and cousins with all this love and affection that my mom and I never see. Op adds an edit to their post. After going through the comments and talking things out, I've come to a couple of conclusions. Grandma is emotionally manipulative toward my mom, who is the scapegoat. Mom needs therapy, but that's more of a long-term solution. Grandma depends on mom for everything, so this is an empty threat, and if it's not, then she's going to get first-hand knowledge of how selfish her golden children are. They don't have any other family to depend on here in my city. So they're not going to have anyone else to mooch off of. They'll either get a hotel or cut the trip short. I don't care what they do. My mom doesn't know how to stand up for herself against grandma, so in the short term, I'm going to have to play middleman. My battle plan, and tell me if I'm just being crazy hormonal or if it'll work. Go to the mall without them, get the small sample packet things from the same brand, and give that to the aunts. They never said what size or how many. If they argue or start crap, I'll tell them to GTFO of my mom's house and find one family member they haven't pissed off so badly who'll give them a roof for free. And remind them their choices are, either follow the rules here with mom and stop being pricks, go to a hotel and pay for it themselves, or cut their whole trip short. If grandma pulls crap to guilt mom and tells her she's cut off, I'm going to call grandma's bluff and remind her of everything mom does for her and ask if she's really confident her selfish, materialistic daughters, that she golden child so much, are going to dish out the money to take care of her the way my mom does. I also know my mom's going to freak out at the mega explosion I've caused, and I'm going to have to put my foot down and be a prick myself and have her pick either me or her family. I don't deserve the abuse, mom doesn't deserve the abuse, and I don't want to see her be treated like this anymore. So she's either going to have to support me in the boundaries/consequences, or I'm walking away and letting her deal with her circus. Update 6 days later. Hello, it's been a busy 5 days since the original incident, and I am exhausted. I let mom go ahead and read some of the comments, the ones that weren't bashing her, and she admitted she had been a doormat to my grandma and aunts for too long. I didn't have to give her an ultimatum, I just had to ask if she was happy that I was getting the same treatment as her. We had a heart-to-heart about the treatment she receives from them and how neither of us needs to keep dealing with this abuse. Mom was hesitant because of grandma, but she also knows this can't keep going on. She also wants to be happy. A lot of other stuff was talked about, and we cried a lot. Mom and I both confronted the aunts that same night after our heart-to-heart. We were getting annoyed with them blowing up our phones and calling her horrible people, crappy hosts, and a bunch of other petty bullcrap. Anyway, we get back to mom's, and the aunts are looking all smug, like they think I'm there to cower and beg for their forgiveness. The first thing out of their mouths were demands, when we're taking them to the mall to buy them makeup and products. They also wanted us to buy their sons' gaming stations because they're too expensive in New Zealand, and just a whole bunch of other random expensive crap they feel entitled to. Mom and I let them talk and exhaust themselves with their demands before my mom, very epically, told them to pack their stuff and find somewhere else to stay. She told them they had until the morning to be out, or she and Dad, because he can't stand them either, would have their luggage tossed out front in the yard. My dad's been in the know about everything, and he's always let my mom decide how she wants to deal with her family and supports her, but he was straight up ready to get the shovel and toss all their stuff out at a moment's notice. As you can imagine, after the initial second of shock, everyone was loud, yelling, and so shocked and hurt. I'll give some bullet points so this doesn't turn into a novel. The aunts have never been so disrespected in their lives. They can't believe their own sister would toss them out so cold-bloodedly. They have nowhere to go, no family will take them in. They'll be homeless in a foreign country, don't we have a heart? I'm a beach, this is all my fault because I don't understand family loyalty and how to be a host. And nothing they did was so bad that they deserve to be abused this way. Yes, they actually said Mom and I were abusing them. God will never forgive us. We're hateful people. Grandma had a straight-up conniption. She was screaming and swearing that she wouldn't stay another minute with my mom. She wanted all her paperwork and information, and she's leaving and never coming back. My mom is trash, and the aunts will take care of her better than my mother ever did, blah blah blah. Tonight, we found out that grandma is broke, and mom has been paying her medical, dental, vision, and medication expenses out of pocket. This is important, and I'll circle back in a little bit. In the end, their kids booked a hotel near where the wedding is supposed to be, and the effing gall of these people. They tried to say that because we're kicking them out on short notice, we have to pay for their hotel. No, my dad had a few choice words and a surprisingly well-itemized list of the costs they've already racked up on this trip alone. So, back to Grandma. She has no money. Grandpa never left her a dime, nothing. My mom's known for the past 10 years that Grandma is dead broke, and she never had the heart to tell her that Grandpa left her with nothing. My mom's the one who put Grandma on her insurance to make sure she could still see doctors and get her prescriptions, and whatever insurance didn't cover, Mom covered. And this hateful woman, all this time, kept putting my mom down for being worthless and poor and not treating her to the life of luxury she thought she deserved. Even after finding out that she had no money, Grandma tried to make it out like Mom stole from her. Nope, Mom kept all the paperwork and bank documents. Grandpa seriously blew through all his money before he died. Well, the aunts, in the moment, acted like they didn't care and said they'd take such good care of Grandma in their country. So, Mom and I packed up Grandma's stuff too and gave it to them to take with them. Guess who got dropped off in tears today, back at Mom's house? That's right, my aunts, in a matter of hours, turned from doting daughters, who were after Grandma's money, into very cruel and abusive harpies to Grandma. They shockingly don't want anything to do with her now that they know they'll have to shell out cash to take care of her. Mom and Dad have already decided they don't want Grandma to stay with them, so they're sending her to live with her sister, who will help her get on government assistance and Medicaid and everything else. Mom's done, and Dad's freaking excited. Mom's really sad and hurt by the way things have gone, but her give a F dam has burst and burned down when Grandma said that Mom was a thief. The aunts and their family are in the hotel. We didn't placate them or buy them anything, and they're not welcome back at either my home or Mom's home. So good riddance to bad rubbish. We had some family nearby call and ask us what happened because the aunts reached out to them, either to get a place to stay, they didn't book the hotel for very long, or turn them against us and guilt Mom into taking them back. But these are family who know my aunts well and have already cut them off and banned them. They seem a lot more inclined to visit and hang out with us now that we told them the aunts aren't allowed back in our homes and that Grandma is being sent to her sisters. So who knows? Maybe we have a new family door opening? All in all, it's a success in my book.